This is Clear and Correct-ish, where acne meets adulthood. Before we get into today's episode, be sure to like and subscribe so you never miss a show. Okay, y'all. So we are so excited. We are back with another episode of Clear and Correct-ish. And if more steps to you have meant better skin, half the skincare aisle will be collecting dust under your sink, if we're being honest, because today I'm joined by my incredible friend, Esthetician. She is coming to us from SkinCeuticals, SkinLab, to talk about what's really keeping us stuck with our skin, what we really can be doing to address our acne, and what she's seeing in the treatment room because she is serving a host of different clients, some of them being the women that we talk about here who are stuck in the middle between acne and aging and how they conquer both worlds. So I am so happy to have today's guest host, my girl, Kate Hunter. How are you, Kate?
Hello, I am so happy to be here. This is my honor to be
Yes,
here.
I'm so happy. So, do you want to tell them more about yourself, what Skin Lab is, what SkinCeuticals is, what do you do? Give them the hype.
Yeah, so SkinLab is a partnership with SkinCeuticals. Currently, I think, and I'm going to get this number wrong, I think there's about 15 locations across the US. We are location number 11. So there's a limited number. There's one in Miami, and then the next one up is in South Carolina, in Charleston. So they spread them out. They partner with very specific doctors, typically dermatologists or potentially plastic surgeons. So they partnered with a board certified plastic surgeon, Dr. Jeffrey Hartog. And so him and his wife, who's an amazing nurse practitioner, Michelle Hartog, and then Liz Payne is the other owner, and she's also a nurse practitioner at our location. And so what that is it's medical grade skincare that partners with those doctors and practitioners, and then we are a retail location where we sell only SkinCeuticals, and then we also do in the treatment room we use our SkinCeuticals as a back bar as well. So I am a licensed esthetician at the Skin Lab in Winter Park, and it's an absolute honor to be partnered not only with that world-renowned brand, but also with these amazing people that have decades of experience behind them. So I'm really grateful to be a part of that team.
Yay. So, what I love about Kate is that we both took esthetician school like super duper duper serious, like super serious. And I was excited when I was thinking about guest hosts for this season because I believe we serve a lot of women who are like us. Kate and I both come from the corporate world. We were in esthetician school while being in corporate, while facing many of the struggles that I share with my audience here, right? Even about us facing our own acne in our adult years and really seeking to overcome it. So I'd love for you, Kate, to share about like where you were 5 years ago with your acne and what you did to get here because I can promise everyone here that it wasn't following routines on TikTok or Instagram that got it. We probably tried it, but it didn't get us here. But I definitely believe it was something more personalized and less about popular, right? So I would love for you to share your
Mm-hmm.
experience.
Yeah, so I mean, meeting you in esthetician school, I know we gave our instructor a real run for the money. I was like, we, between the two of us, we would have our hands raised up asking all of the
All the
questions. I
questions.
remember poor Holly, bless her heart, she was working the hardest with us. And I loved it because if I didn't ask the question, you had your hand raised and you were asking the question I was thinking. And I was like, this is a beautiful arrangement that we have. But yeah, that was it for me. You know, when I decided to go to esthetician school, and I tell this story a lot, but like when I decided to go, I was a little bit older than the average person in the class, and I had done all the other things. I had tried all the other things in my life, but I'd always had a passion for it. And so when I pulled that trigger, I was like, this is it. I'm doing this for real. This is not a side gig for me. This is not a maybe if nothing else works out. I was like, all of my eggs are in the skincare basket and I am doing this. So we took it so, so seriously. And I think that's why we got along so well too. We were kindred spirits, right?
Literally.
So as far as your, yeah. So as far as your question about, I would say honestly, it probably goes back about 10 years for me. So as a teenager and as a younger person, I really didn't deal with a lot of skincare issues. And so I was very grateful and very fortunate for that. When I hit my 30s, my face said, "We have a surprise for you." And I developed this cystic acne. For me, it came out of nowhere. I had no education. I didn't understand it. I was like, why is this happening to me? And it was just constant. It was if there was one on my face, I would pick at it. I would do all the things I'm not supposed to do. I bought all of the things that were marketed at me. I remember I love listening to your podcast and listening to the things where you're like, if it was marketed, I bought it. If it was on the shelf, I bought it. Like if somebody said this is going to cure all your problems, I bought it. Tried it for 2 weeks, didn't work, switched to another one, tried it, just I did all the things. And it wasn't until I actually went to an esthetician who helped me and sat me down and said, "This is what you need to be doing." Now, it turns out that esthetician was my childhood best friend. So, she was a little bit more frank and she was really real
Yeah.
with me, maybe more so than she would be with her clients. But she really helped me to see. And even with going to her, I still was like, and I still would fall for every marketing ploy out there. And it wasn't until I went to school and really, really took it to heart that I started to see a difference and started to see improvement in my skin. And so it was that education that really helped me.
Yes. And would you say that, or at that time to clear your skin, that it was a full on 10-step routine? Was it more like 4 to 5 key steps that you were following? Like, give the audience and viewers and listeners a sense of where you really landed to get to clear.
Yeah. So I will go back to my friend who told me you don't need a lot of stuff because, girl, my drawers and my cabinets were full,
Same.
full of everything, everything. And my friend was like, you only need four things. And she's like, you need a good cleanser. She's like, you need a good antioxidant. And she's like, you need a moisturizer and SPF. She's like, that's all you need. And I was like, okay, I'll see your four and I'll raise you 10. Like, I was like, if four things are good, then eight things are even better.
Right.
Not listening, right? Just being that horrible, horrible client. And so, truly, truly listening to her and getting that education, finding a brand that worked for me, and really paring down my routine is what it was, that consistency. I stuck with it. I trusted the process. And that's what helped me to have clear skin. I have not had a cystic breakout. I did have one during a hurricane once, and I would like that was a stress situation, and it was Hurricane Milton that happened here in Florida, and we named it Milton. It was on my chin, and everybody at work was like, "Oh, Milton has come," and I was like, "Yeah, 100%." But that was the last one I'd had in years. So it's
Yeah.
like it is, it's a process. It's not something that you get cured from, as you've mentioned before, but having that consistent routine. And I will tell you, there's devices and things that people don't realize that are accessible to them that changed my life, especially when it came to cystic acne.
So I definitely want us to get into that because that's a great segue for where you are, what you're doing now, all of the very science-backed and innovation-led, products and treatments that SkinLab offers, right? I think some people can benefit from that because oftentimes I know similar to you, I did think more meant better instead of less is more. So my skin
Yeah.
barrier was fried. I did more damage because I thought I knew best, though nothing I did was working. And then it was when I got with an esthetician who actually knew, but by that point I was deciding on myself like you to enroll in school because I wanted it firsthand.
Mhm.
But I didn't even know coming out of esthetician school even then, right? Because esthetician school gets you a really good baseline of knowledge, especially if you choose a school that is partnered with a skincare provider or a skincare brand,
Hmm.
I think, because I've met some people who weren't, and we just kind of came out on different playing fields, right? We'll say it like that. But what I think is absolutely dope, though, is even though we got a really good baseline from the school we came from, there is still so much more technology and formulations, like richer formulations, right, that can be beneficial to our skin. But sometimes we don't know. And sometimes we walk into
Hmm.
establishments wanting this shiny thing we see on the menu, but something else may be better. So I would love for you to share more about that experience you just shared about, the other technologies, the other tools that can benefit us when we are experiencing these acne breakouts.
Absolutely. And what I like to tell people, and especially at SkinLab, we offer complimentary consultations. You can meet with a licensed esthetician, you can meet with one of our nurse practitioners, and they will, free of charge, have a thorough consultation of you and your skin and what you need. And you can get that proper education. And then you can decide if you want to proceed with one of the more advanced offerings that we have, or if you want to proceed with skincare or home care routine, all of that. You can have that conversation. And that's really where I like to focus my attention is that initial consultation with clients because I will sit down and everybody knows if I've got a new client walking in the door, I don't care if they've booked the consultation or they've booked a procedure, you're going to be having a 15-minute conversation with Kate. Everyone knows that. Everyone knows I'm going to take way longer. They add more time to my schedule automatically because they know she's going to talk to them for 10 to 15 minutes and ask them a million questions and figure out what's best for them. Because, like you said, we come in, we think we know,
Hmm.
and some people do. Some people do have it and they figure it out. And I'm like, yeah, we have a conversation. I'm like, yeah, what you booked is perfect. We're going to go forward with that. But if not, then we can always make those adjustments and change that. But it's always a conversation. But as far as treatments that we have, there's so many things that we can do that can address so many concerns and things that people don't even realize that will help situations or different things that you're experiencing with your skin. So, for instance, chemical peels is a great treatment for acne, but it's also a great treatment if you have dehydrated skin. And people don't always realize that
Hmm.
because they're thinking, oh, a chemical peel, you're going to take all my skin off. Well, different acids do different things. So,
Yep.
glycolic acid is a water loving molecule that is going to attract moisture into your skin. Whereas you have salicylic acid, and that's the one that's the oil loving molecule. So you have all of these different options that address different concerns. And so that's why trusting your provider, trusting your esthetician really benefits you in the long run. When I'm talking to people and I will talk throughout the treatment as well. I'll try not to so people get relaxed. Don't think I'm going to talk your head off the whole time. But especially if you're a new person with me, I'll bring things to your attention because, for instance, there is a device called a high frequency wand. That is a life changer, especially if you have cystic acne, right?
Yes.
When I tell you I had never heard of that device, and that is what my friend, when I was dealing with my cystic acne, she told me about that. And I had never heard of that before. And to this day, when I get somebody in my chair in my bed talking about cystic acne. I'm seeing it on their face. I'm like, I pull it out because I've got mine, right there ready to go. And I'm like, have you ever seen one of these? And they're like, I don't know what that is. And I show it to them and I'm like, look, go on Amazon. It's $40. And I always tell them the exact same thing. I'm like, Amazon will try to sell you a $150 one. You don't need the $150 one. The $40 one will be fine. It will last you forever. I walk them through that is something that you can do on your own as a client at part of your home care and part of your routine that will
Hmm.
change your life. Like I'm not sponsored by high frequency wine, but I am such a believer in that device. So we have different levels, right? Like some people are afraid. They think like, oh, it's a med spa or you're going to go see a nurse practitioner and it's going to be expensive or the facial is expensive or, they're concerned about
Yes.
cost. That is an inexpensive treatment
Hmm.
that you can do at home and that with consistent use alone, you're going to see amazing benefits.
I'm so glad you said that because that's not something I've ever shared on the podcast. Like, I've never mentioned to anyone that they could buy high frequency
Sorry
ones.
if you were
Yeah,
gatekeeping that.
no,
You can cut this out.
I know. Well, I guess let's be clear. I'm no longer gatekeeping by accident. It's like, but the high frequency one, like, yeah, absolutely love it, especially when you're dealing with acne and breakouts. And it's funny because when I was in the treatment room, people would think, "Oh, like it's gonna zap me, right? Like, are you gonna zap me away? Like, is this
Yeah.
gonna hurt?" And it does not hurt. It does not hurt. But what
No.
it does is it really helps to deal with the breakout on your skin so that the oxygen that is being infused drives out like the bacteria. So then it helps you get to that healing phase much sooner in your skin journey. So thanks for and feel free to add on if I
Yeah.
missed a point there, but thanks for sharing that because I didn't mean to gatekeep on that one, but definitely go to Amazon and get the $40 wand because you can use that at home. And
Right.
I always say things with caution, but I want to say you can't harm your skin, but then I'll find someone who has done something to harm their skin with the wand at
There's
home. So
For the most part, yeah, I tell people to keep you can turn it up to 10. You don't need to turn it up to 10. Keep it on 4. It can dry your skin out. I tell people that. So I tell people to proceed with caution. If you're somebody who has extremely oily skin, then you're safe probably to use it on a daily basis. But if you're someone who has drier skin, but you're experiencing those cystic breakouts, you may want to just use it as a spot treatment. That's what I tell people, to use it like that. You don't have to go all over. You can
Mhm.
just put it right on the location. The other nice thing about it, and this is why I really swear by it, is that if anyone has ever had cystic acne, they know that they can put literally anything on the surface of their skin and it does nothing.
Mhm.
There's no topical that really gets in there, with the exception of maybe
Right.
retinol. But even that, it takes time
Mhm.
and it's just so aggressively drying. There's just nothing that gets in there, and then you have this painful thing that just grows under your skin and it's just begging for you to pick at it, which of course we know is the worst thing.
Right.
And so that wand, because it's treating you from beneath the surface, that's why it's beneficial, because it increases that blood flow and that circulation, which then reduces the inflammation of that sac of fluid that's formed on your skin. You're getting it. So I tell people, if you have a topical, something anti-inflammatory, we have something called a phyto gel that's amazing for that kind of stuff. You can put that on there, kind of press your wand in there, and you're getting it from both sides. And that's why it's so effective, way more than something that's just topical. So, because trust me, I know that frustration of dealing with that.
Yes. So that's good. So even I learned something here because I never, even in all our education, would have considered myself to use the wand every day, right? Nor would I've known the impact on dry skin types because I'm combination and most people I'm seeing are oily, very few dry clients that I saw. So thank you for that education. That is good. I pray that you all took that nugget and you're holding it in your pocket as you go and purchase not only your phyto gel from Kate over at the SkinLab, please go get your phytogel, but also get your high
It's
frequency
great. I
wand.
love that stuff.
Yeah. Go get your high frequency wand. So,
Yeah.
I think if nothing else, what I hope everyone has learned so far in our conversation is that more does not mean better, but less is actually better when you're treating acne or anything you're facing, even at home from a home regimen. Kate has just walked us through how important skin consults are. And so I know a lot of times we have this stigma that I just want to get in, I want to get what I booked for, but the skin consult literally makes the difference and it makes a difference in the service that you are receiving. So if you're going to see Kate, right? Not only do I urge you to let her get her 15 minutes, all 15 of them in the consult, but it literally can take you from getting a service that you'll walk away actually leaving with nothing besides a checkbox that you got what you wanted to a service that can actually make a difference in your skin. Like by the time you leave, you could see a difference, or in the days to come, even further difference with your home regimen. So when you are visiting a location such as the Skin Lab, who is actually using these medical grade products that can really penetrate the skin to get you the results that you want, you want to heed that advice, right? Like, this is knowledge, this is experience, this is science. It's not just fly by night. We threw this.
Yeah.
I tell my clients all the time that, everything in Sephora and Ulta does work, or else it wouldn't still be on the shelf. It's not just you buying it, it does work, but does it work for you and the specific conditions
Hmm.
in your skin, the specific goals you're trying to, achieve? Does it work for you? Most of those things aren't really going to work for, I like to say, those higher grades of acne, which is where a SkinLab and a Kate can come into play for you, where you're located if you really need that additional support monthly versus, what you're doing at home. Because at home skincare is going to be key. Doesn't matter what you throw at it. If you're not
Absolutely.
doing the at home side, when you get into the treatment room, you're just throwing money at the wall because you're not doing the other part of it. But I think it is so key to
Hmm.
know, what to expect and to be open to receiving a different treatment, because for the very reasons that you shared here, that chemical peel has far more benefits than what many think, just the, oh, I want to get rid of these dark spots, like, it literally has more treatments. It can address the fine lines and the aging care that you may be looking for, in addition to treating the acne, in addition to helping you maintain hydrated skin. So I am so grateful that you dropped this knowledge and shared this with our listening audience, because if they didn't do anything else, I got the gems here. I got some good gems from you, Kate. Look at this. I'm still learning from you. Like, how many ever years later? Asking all
No,
the questions.
same. I mean, I listen to your podcast. I'm learning stuff too. So here we are together, the dream team.
Yes. So there's one thing you dropped on Instagram that I also thought was good that I have not shared on the
Uh-oh.
podcast yet. And so, as I share my services with clients, it's all about strategy for me. I come from a marketing background, so I understand strategy. I speak strategy. And strategy is actually what helped me clear my skin. Really taking what I knew, layering, my products, and building a plan. So there was something I had seen you share on social media. I said, I have not shared this. And I was not gatekeeping by accident here. I just never came to mind. But you share the proper way to layer your products. And I think someone asked you if they have more than one serum, which serum do they use? And I was like, oh, this is genius, because this can help our listening audience understand that you may have more than 4 items, right, in your regimen, but it could be additional serums because of what we see in your skin and how we want you to address it. So I would love for you to help them understand the strategy behind the use of their skincare products and the order in which they use them.
Yeah, that is such a good question. And that is honestly probably one of the most common things that I discuss with my clients because it is really overwhelming, especially like you said. So, ideally, I feel like you typically don't need more than 4 or 5 products in your routine. And that's really like a maintenance routine, right? And I think too, we throw so many things at the wall, we try to see what sticks. So, I understand why people have so many different things in their routine. But what I like to recommend that you've got your basic products. So I like to use a cleanser, an antioxidant, a moisturizer, a sunscreen, and then at night I like to use some kind of an exfoliation, typically a chemical exfoliation. So we'll either do glycolic acid or retinol is my preference if you can tolerate it. But let's say that in that routine, you've got those steps and you've got those down, but you want to incorporate something to target something specific. So you want discoloration, or you're experiencing breakouts, or you're experiencing dehydration, or something else that you need a little extra that your base products are not covering. That's when you start layering in those different serums and those different things. And so, as a rule, we do thickest or thinnest to thickest is the rule for the layering. So you want your lightest, your most lightweight product first after you cleanse your skin, and then you kind of progress your way. Now, if you have serums or you have creams that are similar consistency, that's where we really start to get confused because we're like, well, I've got these two lotions and one of them is for this and one of them is for that. So, what I recommend at that time is you put the one that you need the most first. So, if you're focused on discoloration, then you will put the serum that you are using for the darker spots or the redness or something like that, the evening out of your skin tone. You put that first, and then you put your secondary serum or lotion, whatever is the same consistency, you put that next. The only caveat to that, and I think I mentioned this in my social media post, is if you have a prescription from a dermatologist or a doctor, something topical that you're using, we typically always recommend that you put that on first. So let's say you're using a tretinoin, some other prescription retinol, a prescription acne cream, you typically will put that on your skin regardless of the consistency. So if it's thick, thin, it doesn't matter. That goes on first because that's your primary concern at that time. And that's your doctor's orders. They've given you that, and we're not going to mess around with that. So you put that on, and then you go forward with your skincare routine after that.
Awesome. Thank you for that breakdown. I thought it was so good when I was like, I've never shared this publicly. Obviously with clients, I'm helping, I give them a regimen, but even then I don't know that I've told them this is strategically why I've broken this down. Like I know it in my mind, but I've just never said it out loud. So when I saw that, I said, oh,
There's
this
a
is
method
genius.
to our madness.
Literally, yeah. I'm like, we'll let them into our world. And I was like, well, since Kate will be on, she can actually run through that with them. So,
Yeah.
Kate, tell everyone anything else about the Skin Lab and what you do. Actually, I would love for you to tell them about the new program that you were accepted into. I think is a pretty big deal.
Oh,
And I would love for them to hear about it. And
well,
then I
thank
would also
you.
love for you to share, where people can find you for services in the Orlando area and how they can book with you or whatever it is.
Yeah, thank you. So it's really nice working with a brand as well known as SkinCeuticals. We have a lot of science behind us. And so they are so focused on education, which, as we mentioned earlier, that is you and I, that's our jam. We love
Our jam.
education. And so I'm really grateful. Yes, I am so grateful to be with a brand that is so focused on educating and empowering their providers, and so there are different levels to this program in the Mastering SkinCeuticals program. And so I completed the Ambassador program, which is the kind of entry level, which is a self-guided educational course that you can do online. And then once you have completed that, then you are eligible for the other different levels. So currently I'm in the professional level, which is really, it's such an honor. I am one of 40 people in the entire nation that's been chosen. So yeah, it's not a lot, and it's not exclusive to Skin Labs. So it can be in any flagship location that offers SkinCeutical products. So that's dermatology offices. There was an application process and an interview process, a video interview. And so it really was an honor to be selected this year for to be a part of that. So there's projects, there's education. So I did recently, one of the things that I was able to do as part of the program was do an in-office presentation on a a specific product that we were featuring. And I also, it happened to correlate with this product and chemical peels. And so it was a really nice honor to be able to put together a slide deck and to present that to my peers. So at least I knew I had a safe space to present it in, but it was definitely nerve-wracking. I was joking about like sweat running down my back, but I got it done, and it was so much fun to be able to present that. So I talked about Cell Cycle Catalyst, which is another fantastic product that we have at the Skin Lab that really preps your skin for chemical peels. So again, it
Mm.
goes back to, all of that home care and prepping. Like you don't just come in, get a chemical peel your first time you ever walk in the door. Like there's a lot that goes into it. And so that Cell Cycle Catalyst helps to prep that. But as far as finding me, so my Instagram handle is Kate, just my first name, Kate, and then underscore Skin Lab WPV. That's because we are the Skin Lab in Winter Park Village. So if you want to find us, we are located in that plaza. It's off of Mills. It's kind of in right before you get to Maitland, but you can Google the Winter Park Village and you can find us in there. And you can find our booking at skinlabwpv.com, and you can find our booking link and just look for me. I'm Kate. Just look for me in the list and book with me.
Yay. So, if you all took nothing else away from today, I hope that you took away that both Kate and I have walked through your journey. We can probably tell you some processes in it that you can skip. I hope if you learn nothing else today that you learn that more products doesn't mean more progress, that there is a strategy behind helping you get the clear skin that you want, helping you in the aging care process, right? Like really being forward thinking about what we know your skin might need, not just as esthetician, but as women like you who are walking through it. Kate shared here about Hurricane Milton on her skin. I experienced hurricanes too. But I think the beautiful thing and advantage we have is that we know what our triggers are. So we don't freak out when those moments happen, but we go back to our protocol, what we know to do. So, and we're always barrier first, right? We are always thinking about how do we get our skin barrier back to a balanced state? How do we continue to improve it? How do we continue to propel it forward, right? For a healthy future. So I hope if you took nothing else away from our conversation today, that you took those things away, that you understand that overtreatment leads to inflammation and frying of your skin, we'll call it, versus actually helping you get to the goals that you want. As you heard here, Kate and I followed all the trends. We tried all the things. We picked up all the things. But in the end, it was actually our simple processes, which is a simple plan of 4 to 5 products that really got us to clear and are helping us stay clear. And this simplicity makes it sustainable. So, what I've noticed with the audience is that oftentimes the skincare routines don't feel sustainable because we aren't keeping them simple. We're trying to do something 10 step. And let's be honest, after being in corporate all day, after parenting all day for the parents, after being at all the after school sports and events, when you get home, that 10-step routine is dreading. You are ready to get in the bed. Like you are not trying to go and do this for real. So then it leads you to being inconsistent. It leads you to being indifferent at times. It leads you to even skipping some things, right? So I want you to think about how sustainable a simpler routine is. And most importantly, I want you to know that there are professional resources available to you. I didn't just ask Kate to join us live for no reason. I asked Kate because Kate not only has the credentials from her experience in education, because I knew what school we went to, but she also has the credentials being in partnership with and employed by SkinCeuticals. And if you're not familiar with SkinCeuticals, excuse me, you should go research the brand online. If I'm not mistaken, Kate, and correct me if I'm wrong, you also have to be under like a medical director. So I want you to know how premier or prestige that is. So when you think about going to a treatment room or a skin lab like SkinCeuticals, I want you to keep that in mind that what they're going to offer you, what they're going to advise will actually help you. Kate just shared with you, and I did it intentionally about the program that she's in because it goes even further. So it's not enough to just desire to, join an entity such as SkinCeuticals, SkinLab, but even in their internal audience, they are promoting education among their estheticians. And that education isn't just for the estheticians to tout themselves, but really to deliver what you need, even at a higher level. So if you take nothing else from today, take all of that. All of that. Anything else that you would want to add, Kate?
No, I just want to thank you so much again for letting me be a part of this, and I really appreciate you drawing attention. I mean, SkinCeuticals is an amazing brand. It has the science behind it, like you mentioned. We do have a medical director, Dr. Hartog. So yeah, that is a requirement to be able to use SkinCeuticals and sell. And one of the things that makes it so different is, especially with the Skin Lab, is us having it in the back bar. So we have the science proven retail in the front that we can recommend and make sure that it's effective for you, but we're also using it in our back bar, and not a lot of places do that. Even if they may sell them like dermatologist office or things like that, they're not necessarily using them in their aesthetic practices. So that is something that sets us apart as well. And I do want to just give a quick shout out. I am one of three, soon to be four, amazing estheticians at the Skin Lab. So I don't want you to think that I'm the only one there. I have an amazing team that I work with, and anybody that you could see there, you will be so happy that you see any of the estheticians there. They are all phenomenal, and I'm truly, truly blessed to be a part of that team.
Yay. So here's what you should take away. Final takeaway here is that you follow our advice, you'll stop chasing flawless, you'll start seeing results, and you will see how your treatment really shows up for you. That is the result of today's conversation that we really want you to walk away with, is that you take this advice, you run with it, your results will start showing up for you. So that is the closing of our show. In the show notes, I'll drop all the resources that are available to you. I will also drop Kate's social handles and the location that Kate is at, where you can book Kate or any of the amazing estheticians there on staff. And most of all, I want you to know that clear skin in adulthood isn't luck. It's support, it's strategic, and it's having a personalized plan just for you. And at Hue, we've got it. So does my girl, Kate. So have a beautiful day. We'll see you on the next show.